Hello everyone, I did not do an intro for this because honestly I wasn't expecting to even do this video as like a separate thing. In this video I am going to be building some arches for my baby shower. I did not think after 5 years of infertility I would ever have a baby shower, and as much as I wanted this to be luxury and all about me, unfortunately IVF was tens of thousands of dollars, and I am trying to cut corners any way that I can in order to save money to pay back that line of credit. So to do that I am doing a lot of DIY baby shower things and trying to, like I said, save money where I can. I was quoted for $350 for a balloon arch, and I found it to be a little bit, I don't think she was overcharging me or anything. I think that that price is I think it's worth her time and her effort. My issue was that I knew I could make it, and I was also nervous. I'm like a huge control freak, so I was also nervous me not liking it, but then not being able to speak up. I'm just not one of those people where if I don't like it, I'm like not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be like, thank you, and then like cry about it later. It's really not that serious. It's just a balloon arch, but I just like saw it and I like did some videos to be like, let's see how hard this is, and it really didn't seem that difficult to build the arches itself. Now, am I terrified for the actual balloon part? Yes. But I decided to look up some videos. I'm going to link the video that me and Josh actually followed down below. We didn't follow it to a T. We kind of, we made some changes because we did different sizing and had different wood. So we obviously took the template of the video and kind of just did our own thing. And if you guys have any tips for balloon arches, let me know in the comments. Let's get into it. Okay, so obviously the first place we had to go to was Home Depot. We didn't need that many items. We just needed the materials. We didn't need any tools just because we already have so many tools from doing so many other stuff. So we were just looking for the screws and the plywood that we were gonna get. And when we brought it home, the first thing that we did is make a protractor. So I'm going to link the video down below that we actually followed. So if you guys want to do the same thing, you can just follow the tutorial that we did. Obviously, we kind of took it as a base and did our own thing with different measurements and stuff like that, but relatively the same. So to make the protractor, you basically have to take like a scrap piece of wood and find the center of your board and only screw in the scrap piece about halfway so that it's able to still move, just like a protractor, and that's how you get the perfect arch. And then obviously wherever you want your pencil to go, do another pilot hole in there and then shove your Sharpie or pencil in there. And literally it is the coolest thing ever. We were so shocked that it worked, and it literally drew out the perfect arch. I'm sure you can probably get a real protractor for this, but we just did like the DIY one that was linked in the video, and it worked out perfectly. So we made 2 arches. So I would say in total, this took about, we started at about like 11 or 10:30 a.m. We probably started at like 10:30 a.m. and we didn't finish until about 3 p.m. and we didn't have any breaks. We actually didn't eat this entire day. I went inside and had a couple snacks, but that was it. So the first arch that we did was too wide, so we just made a smaller pilot hole closer to the center. And then Josh did not have a proper tool that I think he needed like a, I don't know what the tool is called, guys. This is why I'm not doing it. But he needed a different tool, but his dad couldn't find it. So we just used this hand one anyways. It's not the best tool for this project. The tool that he originally wanted to use, I don't know if it's like if it was a jigsaw, if it was a whatever saw. It was some type of saw, okay? Anyways, it worked though. And then it did what it was supposed to do, but it probably would have been better with a different tool. Anyways, now that Josh is sanding the edges of the arch to make it perfection, I am drawing 2 legs just with the scrap piece of plywood. Now, the link that I put in the YouTube video in the description actually is, they buy separate wood to make the legs. Now, looking back, I probably should have done this to make the legs heavier than the board, but I was cheap and I was like, oh, I'll just make legs out of the leftover plywood that we cut off, which I don't regret because we did save a lot of money not buying more wood. But we did need to do some extra stuff to make it heavier. So Josh is just cutting out the legs right now. By this point, I was absolutely freezing. I was like, my hands were freezing. I was just so cold. So as you can see, this is me kind of just standing here. But at this point, we're drilling in some pieces of plywood on top of the arch on the back so that we have somewhere to drill in the hinges and make sure the hinges are very secure. So we got non-radius, which means that the hinge can open all the way, kind of like a door. And we're basically drilling those hinges on to the legs, and the other piece of wood will kind of stop it from opening all the way. The reason why we have hinges is you don't really need hinges if you don't want hinges, but I want to be able to store these long term and use them, you know, for the baby's birthdays, and they're just good to have, I feel. So we wanted them to be able to fold so that we can actually lay them flat in storage, but they're not necessary. You don't need to have the hinges to open and close, but we wanted collapsible legs. So that's what we're doing here. We're just putting the hinges onto the legs. So at this point, we were like, okay, let's see if this thing actually stands. Now, it was really hard to tell because one, it was super windy and cold out, and these are going to be used inside, and two, our driveway is slanted. It literally goes down, so it was really hard to judge if it was going to stand or not. However, we did notice that it definitely didn't feel heavy enough. Like the weight wasn't distributed properly. It was very front heavy compared to the back. Even though the legs were pretty big, the wood itself was pretty light. So what we did is we did some notches so that we can actually put a slat of wood inside and add some weight to the back, which in the video that I'm linking, they did that also. We thought we were gonna be able to get away with that because we weren't having it outside, but we decided just for safety purposes, we were gonna do that. So as you can see, we're measuring here to see where we should put the notches to cut the wood so that we can actually have something to secure when we're done. So we did this, and yeah, that was it. It honestly was so simple, and we actually got pre-sanded plywood also, which we didn't really need because we do have a hand sander, but I feel like there wasn't really many options at Home Depot anyways. Like if it would have been $15 cheaper per plywood for non-sanded, we would have, but we didn't even see non-sanded plywood, so we just got sanded plywood, which is easier for us because then all I have to do is prime and paint it, which I actually already have the paint also because we're doing the same colors as in the nursery and in our house, so I have leftover paint from that, so I don't have to buy any paint. So this is the next day. We got really tired and I had to put the hinges on the second one. So this is me just doing that. Josh is downstairs. Yes, he would have done it for me. I don't want to hear the comments. I'm capable. I wanted to do it. I had free time after school, so I decided to do it. This is me just putting on the hinges. Enjoy. So here I'm just testing it out, obviously, to make sure that they open and close and that they stop at a certain point. Okay, so now I started painting, right? I thought I for sure had enough paint to cover this. I don't know what it is. Plywood sucks the paint. I thought I had enough paint left over. I absolutely did not. And it was already like 6 p.m. at this point. I was so irritated. So I had to literally stop and go to Home Depot and get another can of paint. I was very frustrated, but that's okay. So that's what I did. And I came back and I painted and it was fine. This was me trying to literally stretch the paint as far as I could. And then I realized, no, there's no way I'm getting this whole board covered. And I need a second layer. There's no way. I need to go get more paint. So I did. At this point, my back hurt so bad from painting. And again, yes, my husband would have done it for me, but I'm a control freak and I didn't want him to, so I did it. Also, there's not much room in this nursery room, so I had to like literally bend over, and my back from the baby's weight was literally crushing me. But I did it, and that's why I'm doing all my paint strokes in different angles. I know I'm supposed to go like in one angle, but I just couldn't. So this is the final small arch. We do not have room in this nursery to do the big one, so that's going to be another project for another day, but you get the gist of it. I did make like a little template of like kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to insert it here. I made it on Be Funky. I tried to match the color. In person, it's like hard to tell what the color is going to look like under the lighting at the church where I'm doing my baby shower. But I do know a couple tips on balloon arches that I've been watching, like to blow them up in a circle and not an oval. If you blow them up too much, they turn into like an oval shape. You want them to be a circle shape. I also heard of like double layering them when you're blowing them up so that they're more like an opaque color and not see-through. I saw a couple more tips about like making sure that you have like different sizes, which is what I tried to do over here. Let me know what you guys think about my design. Do you think I should be adding more big balloons on the side? I don't know, this was kind of quick. I did this in like 15 minutes. So I just want your guys' opinion. I know there's probably a lot of people here that build balloon arches for like a living or as a side business. So I would totally appreciate your guys' feedback. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I will show you guys the finished product on my baby shower day. But if you are interested in doing this, I really recommend doing it. It is really not that hard. And if it was nice outside, I think we would have been okay with like doing, I wanted originally for them like for 3 panels, but it was just kind of cold and we wanted to just like stick with 2. And it's a really cool bonding experience. I love building stuff with Josh. Like I feel like we both learn things and we learn practical skills and tool skills. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.